What's up, gangsters? Okay, so for the last couple of years, the story we've all been told about AI has been simple, it's been seductive, and, as it turns out, it's now completely wrong. We all got comfortable with this idea of one single, all-powerful AI, right?
I mean, we treated these big generalist models like a digital Swiss Army knife. You know the drill. You'd ask it to debug some Python, then write you a poem, and then plan your next vacation, all in the same conversation. The whole narrative was basically one model to rule them all.
But you've felt it lately, haven't you? The cracks are starting to show. First, there's that really deliberate kind of theatrical delay before it answers a tough question. And second, there's the uncomfortable truth that a jack of all trades is, well, a master of none. These generalist bots are just kind of mediocre at a lot of things. Well, that whole old way of thinking is getting absolutely shattered by three interconnected revolutions that are happening as we speak. So, let's dive in and figure out why everything you think you know about AI is about to change.
All right, first up, let's talk about the performance revolution. This one goes right after two of our biggest assumptions. One, that faster is always better, and two, that a single model can actually be the best at everything.
This is going to sound a little crazy, because for decades, the entire goal of computing was to get faster. But now, with AI, we're actually deliberately making them slower. It sounds totally backwards, I know. But the new reality is that deeper, more thoughtful processing gets you dramatically better answers. Deeper is the new faster.
And check this out. This is the trade-off right here. That pause you're seeing, it's not lag. It's the model literally engaging in what's called metacognition. It's thinking about how to think before it gives you an answer. So yeah, you're trading a few seconds and paying a bit more, but in return you're getting a massive 30 to 40% boost in accuracy on really hard problems. That's a game changer. So what is actually happening in that moment? Well, the AI is breaking the problem down into smaller pieces. It's exploring a bunch of different ways to solve it, kind of like a chess grandmaster thinking 10 moves ahead. It's even catching its own mistakes and backtracking. Then it decides how much brain power to use. See, it's not just guessing the next word anymore, it's actually reasoning.
And this whole idea of using the right amount of power leads us perfectly to the second part of this performance revolution. Using a massive, super smart generalist model for a simple, specialized task, it's just wildly inefficient. It really is like paying for a Ferrari and then using it to haul lumber. I mean, sure, it'll work, but what a waste.
And look, the data is just screaming this at us. If you need PhD-level scientific analysis, you go to Gemini. If you need to solve complex, real-world coding problems, Claude is your guy. It's non-negotiable. And for what's happening right now, Grok's direct line to X is something no one else has. Specialists aren't just a little bit better anymore. They're in a whole different league.
Okay, so let's move on to revolution number 2, which builds on this idea, the access revolution. This is all about how smaller, often open-source models can use tools to punch way above their weight class, making their actual size a lot less important.
You see, the old myth, the one we all believed, was that you had to have a giant, closed-source model from one of the big tech companies to even compete. That was the only way to get state-of-the-art results. That was the game. Well, that myth just got completely obliterated. Just look at this. On its own, the open-source Comic 2 model scores a pretty pathetic 4.7% on this super hard exam. But give it some tools, just a search engine and a calculator, and its score skyrockets to almost 45%. It actually beats GPT-5 on this benchmark. That is a seismic shift, people.
So here's the absolute key. Intelligence isn't just about what the model knows anymore. It's about its ability to go out and do things, to use tools to find info and execute tasks. It's the difference between a brain in a jar and an intelligent orchestrator that has hands to work with.
And that, of course, brings us to the third and maybe the most disruptive revolution of them all, the money. We are witnessing a catastrophic collapse in the price of AI. It's leading us into what I'm calling the age of disposable intelligence.
20 cents. That's it. That's the price for Grok 4.1 to process 1 million tokens of text. With that one number, every single business model that was built on the idea that high-quality AI is expensive was made obsolete, literally overnight.
And just to put that in perspective, look at this. Grok is 10 times cheaper than Google's Gemini Pro and a staggering 75 times cheaper than OpenAI's comparable model. When intelligence gets this cheap, you stop hoarding it. You start sprinkling it on everything.
And listen, this isn't some one-time sale. This is a sustained trend of hyper-deflation. The cost for the same level of AI performance is plummeting by 200 times a year. And it's all driven by better hardware, smarter software, and just plain old fierce competition.
Okay, so let's put it all together. What happens when you combine smarter models, tool-using models, and dirt-cheap models? Well, you get the death of the monolithic, one-size-fits-all AI, and you get the birth of a totally new reality.
This slide nails the shift perfectly. We are moving away from the Swiss Army knife, one tool that's just okay at everything, to the orchestra conductor. The value isn't in any single musician anymore. It's in the conductor who knows exactly which specialist to call on for each part of the symphony.
And here's how that works in practice. A smart routing system gets your request, it analyzes it, and it says, this is a coding question. That goes to Claude. It sends the work to the best specialist, gets the results back, and then pieces it all together into one perfect, synthesized answer for you.
So let's wrap this all up with your new AI playbook. It's time to stop worshiping individual models and start thinking about the systems that connect them. And by the way, this isn't just for developers. This shift means the apps and services we all use every day are about to get so much smarter.
The number one takeaway is this: the models themselves are becoming cheap commodities, like electricity from the wall. The real product, the thing that gives you a competitive edge, is the system you build to manage them. So stop building simple wrappers, those apps that are just a pretty face on a single AI, and start building smart routers that can orchestrate all these different specialists.
And this right here is the question that should be burned into your brain. You have to stop asking, what's the best AI model? It's the wrong question now. The winning question for this new era is, how do I build the smartest system to route my problem to the right one? That is the new game.
And that's it. That's how you stay ahead of the curve. You now understand this massive paradigm shift before pretty much everyone else. So go out there and build the future. You brilliant, specialized, routing-savvy legends. Jared out.